Hey everyone, Michael Bodner here with today's Tesla Tunity. I have my wife alongside me. We want to get her feedback after 1 week of ownership of a dual motor Model 3. My wife is not a car person and not a techie, so this is great feedback for the average consumer out there looking for their next car purchase. And so without further ado, here's my wife Jana. Let's see what she thinks. So it's been a week.
Yep.
What would you say is your favorite part of owning a Model 3?
I think my favorite part is the way that the car drives. I like the way it handles. It's a little sportier than my other car that I used to drive. However, it feels like a luxury vehicle. The seats are super soft. I love just the way aesthetically that the car looks. And I also like the fact that I don't have to get gas.
All right, so let me ask you a question now. How do you feel not having a speedometer in front of you with the screen off to the side?
It was a little difficult getting used to. Everything is on that screen right in front of me or to the side of me. But once, I would say it took me about 48 hours to get used to not having the speedometer, used to, the touch screen of the iPad-looking device. And I don't know, it really wasn't that much of an adjustment.
Okay, good. Now, what about, we went through the setup of the car, and I told you have to go with the regenerative braking, turn off creep mode. Again, a week later, how do you feel having done that? You never drove a stick before.
Correct.
How do you feel about it?
I'm still getting used to it. It's taking me a little longer, and I forget sometimes that the car does roll back a little bit.
Right.
So it's something to be aware of. The first time it happened, I kind of panicked, thinking I was in reverse when I wasn't. But the regenerative braking is something that I've gotten better with. I definitely use my brake pedal a lot less.
I'd say you're selling yourself short because you've definitely driven me around, and I think you've mastered it.
Okay.
Yeah, first day a little rough, and I think you've mastered it from there.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we move over to maybe some things that Tesla could have done better with the car, maybe some things that you don't like as much, is there anything else you want to share positive about the car?
Sure. I love the air conditioning. I love how easy it is to control. I also do love the way I'm able to charge my phone. Since we put the pad in where you can just put the phone laying down.
The Nomad pad.
The Nomad pad.
Yeah.
Love it. And it's great because we both can charge our phone at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I do love the fact, the way the screen is set up. I love how I have the navigation that's always up. And it's very easy to control everything from opening the trunk or the frunk to changing the radio stations or using Slacker radio.
Perfect. All right, so not everything can be perfect, though.
Right.
Nothing could be.
No.
Give us some things that maybe Tesla could have done better, maybe some things that you just don't like.
Okay, so...
Don't get too excited about that.
Well, the first and foremost thing that I don't like is the fact that the car lacks certain features, safety features is what I would call it. I know that this is the safest car on the road right now. However, I don't have anything notifying me of like blind spot detection. It's on the screen that there is a car, coming up next to me. However, I do prefer there to be an audible sound, that there's a car in my blind spot. I also prefer to have a cross-traffic audible warning. So if somebody's driving behind me, coming from the left or the right, the car should beep or notify me that that's happening. So
we'll pause there for a second. We're doing this review while we're on software version 8.1. We do know that the 9.0 update started rolling out. The S's and the X's have it. We're sitting in a 3, of course, and 3s generally don't have it yet at the time of our recording. In the new update, the car does move forward on that left 1/3 of the screen, and they are showing us a 360 view around the car now. So I do think that's step one, but I agree with my wife. You can't look at the center screen to look in your blind spot. That's not good if you're moving especially if you're moving to the left. So I think we're seeing phase 1 of the next level of safety improvements, but I'm going to go ahead and say soon enough we'll probably see audible alerts or a steering wheel vibration or potentially both, and they might all be configurable, but I'm pretty sure they'll have us covered on that one. Rear traffic alert, I haven't heard anything about. So that's still one to watch out for. Anything else?
Just smaller things that I've noticed. There's no handle at the top, where people can, I guess, hold on. I've noticed people I've taken in my car have reached up to hold on to the handle to get out of the vehicle. The car is missing that. It's not, a make or break selling point, but it's just a convenience that I would have liked to have in my car. Also, I don't have satellite radio, and I don't have the ability to have satellite radio with this car.
Right.
I have Slacker radio, which is kind of like a Pandora type of radio. I'm getting used to that. It is easy to control on the screen, but I kind of miss my satellite radio.
Yeah, it's not natively built in. If you want satellite radio, you can kind of force it in through a third-party receiver, or maybe even using your phone and streaming it, but it's not built in like the Slacker radio. Yeah. Anything else that you want to share? Certainly, and the point of this video isn't to nitpick, but a lot of my videos are overwhelmingly positive about the car, and I think it's important to share both sides of it. So anything else you
and
can
also, my car does not have the self-drive.
Autopilot.
It doesn't have autopilot. See,
Right.
I don't even know what the terminology is. It does not have autopilot. That's something that I know that I wouldn't use. I personally don't love that idea. I think if you're going to have a car, you should drive your car. And that way I feel responsible for what happens in my vehicle. So I don't have every feature that most Model 3 owners would have.
Right.
Because I know a lot of people are excited about that feature. That just wasn't something that I wanted for myself.
All right. Well, anything else you want to share before we wrap it up and say goodbye to everyone?
Okay. Nothing else I really want to share. Just it is a great car. It's definitely a family vehicle. As you can see, we have 2 car seats in the back. There's plenty of room, plenty of leg space for the kids, plenty of leg space for us when they're in the car. I love having a frunk. It's extra storage, and the trunk is very large. I think that's it. So this was my honest take.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me. And for everyone out there, remember, Tesla's quickly moving through that backlog of people like me who had a reservation March 31st, 2016. And as we move forward, it's going to be important that Tesla remains focused on the everyday buyer, somebody who isn't a car junkie or a technology fan, and they're going to have to sell to them. So really not too much that they have to work on. I think the grab handle is a big one, especially for people who have a tough time getting out of a car.
Oh, I thought of one.
Oh, one. Okay.
I thought of something
One
else.
more. Here we go.
Sorry. The sun visors.
Yeah.
Because the window is so large in front, the front windshield, I understand that the visor, because of the curvature, couldn't be larger than it is. However, I wish it was larger, because when I'm driving to work, I go east. Sun is rising in the east, and it's right in my face. I always have my sun visor down, and I do wish it was wider, or I guess taller, to block out more of the sun. To me, that's important. And the mirror that's enclosed or included, it's not large, which is fine.
Small
but it's
mirror
just,
with a small visor.
Exactly. Small mirror, small visor. I do wish that was larger. And also, if I could share my delivery experience.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so when my husband got his car, which was back in February,
Yeah.
he was one of the very first at our location to get it, and it was a huge deal. There were people, coming up to the car, looking at the car. They had, I don't want to say it was like a red carpet type thing, but it was very cool. It was like,
Yeah, and we were the only delivery that morning.
We were the only delivery that
It was
morning.
quiet
It was
for
all
us.
about us. When I went, which was last week, we spoke to the guy that did my delivery, and he said that there was going to be like 40 that day. I was in and out probably about 15 minutes. It was a very quick walkthrough, and I do have somebody that could teach me the ins and outs of the Tesla and setting it up and all that. I don't know what the experience would have been like for a complete newbie, because they were getting them in and out super quick. You definitely didn't get that great feeling, like, oh, this is your Tesla, it's finally here. Nothing like that. It was just, it was another car. Not saying that that's, it kind of is what it is.
Yeah, something Elon mentioned early on in the process, trying to get delivery down to 5 to 10 minutes. That was prefaced with really great content would be available to you, so you could learn everything about your car before you got it. I don't think that content's there yet. Trevor Page, of course, Model 3 Owners Club's done a great job putting together his own content. But I would have hoped that Tesla would have had it in advance of very quick deliveries.
Especially since some people got their email that their car was ready within the week. And for somebody to start finding financing and figure out what to do with their old car and, set up a delivery time, the average person who's not, a Tesla fanatic is not going to know what to do with this car unless somebody really sits down with them and goes through the entire screen. Because there's still things that I'm discovering on the screen that, we might not have gone over before. So just something to keep in mind.
All right. Well, hope you all enjoyed honest and open feedback about the Model 3. And of course, we'll have to do it again because version 9.0 could come out later today while we're putting the video together, and we're going to have to learn it all again.
And maybe I'll get it first.
Oh, hopefully not. We've got 2 chances at it, though. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed again, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.